Welcome back to Dad Corner. In today's Dad Corner, we're featuring an interview that was just awesome that I got to do with Jared Mecham at CVX Live. Jared's channel is Ellie and Jared. They're a wonderful couple. I absolutely love their channel. If you haven't checked them out before, you definitely need to. Not only does he give some really profound thoughts about parenting, he gives a nice insight into just his experience. I'm excited to share it with you, and it's coming right up. Welcome back to an all-new Sylver and Zeus's Dad Corner. If you're new, then consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Share this if you know a parent that you think might enjoy it. And feel free to check out the rest. My wife and I vlog every day. We release a new Dad Corner every Tuesday at 3 p.m. We make music and we release a new single every month. Dad Corner is a new project and it'll probably take a little while to grow into itself. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free in the comments down below to tell us what you'd like to see, topics you'd like us to explore, people you'd like us to interview. The comments are the place to put it all. If you haven't checked out Ellie and Jared's channel, there is a link in the card right above. You should definitely stop by and see them. There's also a link in the description to their channel, and I included a second link to one of my favorite videos from them, one of their recent ones. Without any further ado, roll it. Today we are interviewing Jared Mecham from Ellie and Jared. So if you've been watching our vlog at all, you know that this is like one of my favorite YouTubers right here. So if you've been paying attention, all of my favorite YouTubers kind of have nicknames of what I think of them. I think of Jared and Ellie as the gratitude vloggers. And the reason is you can't watch without them telling you what they're thankful for that day, the good things that have happened, and even when there's something that goes wrong, they still come out and are like, you know, this went wrong, but I'm grateful for this and this and this. And they put such a positive spin on it that it really brings a great, well, just like a spirit into your home that's really nice to have.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's always a learning situation in everything, so there's always something to be grateful for. And while it's okay to have those bad things happen, so you can learn something from those.
So you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your family?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Jared. My wife's name is Ellie. We have two boys, Jackson and Calvin. They're 3 years old and 2 years old. Jackson will tell you, he's like, no, I'm not 3. I'm turning 4 in January. So, and we have a dog, Penny, who's adorable. And we're very excited to be here. I'm excited to be here with you.
Thank you. Tell us, how would you define a good father?
So, I would define a good father as not just, I mean, I don't think you can pinpoint it. There's so many different things that a good father is. And I think because you're a father, you know, you have someone that is looking up to you. And depending on their needs will change the definition of a good father. Me being a good father to Jackson doesn't mean that someone else is not a good father to someone else because of their needs. But someone who has love and who is always looking out for others, and I just think of all of these different qualities, but knowing that the things that you do and say have an impact on someone else, I think taking that into mind makes you a good father, and acting on those things, you know. So being a good example, I think, is a definition of being a good father.
I really like that you say that, I mean, each child is different, and so a good father can't just go around and say, this is how I do everything, no matter what, but you have to adapt to the needs of the children you're parenting.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
That. So you've got this huge YouTube channel. You've been going for, what, 4 years now?
4 years total, a little over 3 years daily. Yeah.
So they've been going for a while. What are the good parts and bad parts about being a YouTube dad?
You know, I've thought about this a lot throughout our marriage, throughout having kids, and then being on YouTube. And there is certainly way more good than bad. In fact, it's hard to think of bad things about being a dad on YouTube. The thing that I love about it is that I know that I am an example, that people are watching me, so that isn't a bad thing necessarily, but it makes me want to be a better person. That makes me want to be always looking out, because there's always people watching, whether we're here at CVX Live or where it's on a video. Like, I can be a good example, and that, you know, while that puts weight on my shoulders, it makes me want to be that person that people look up to. So I think it's a great thing, it's a good thing, and it's exciting, and it challenges you. But, you know, you always hope for the best and make sure that you don't slip up, you know, because sometimes that can happen. We're not perfect people. You know, that's the thing, is we're not perfect people. We're not going to always make every single correct decision, but it's the learning part of that. It's the recovery. It's all of that. So if you do make a mistake, what you do after that, that's what matters. And that's where being a good example comes in. Is we all make mistakes. We all do. But what you do after that is what matters.
I think that's a really powerful statement. That, I mean, nobody wants to make mistakes. But like the other day, I was holding Tiberius, and I didn't quite catch him fast enough. He fell over, and it wasn't a big thing, but he started crying because he bonked his head, and I felt really bad about it. And that's a tiny little thing, but I really love that it's how you recover from the mistake. Yeah. That's important. Exactly. Learn from it, fix it, try not to do it again.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, just as we are learning, the kids are learning that, you know, when you fall, you just get back up again.
Would you say that, okay, so YouTube has made it so you feel like you have more of a presence, you need to be a really good example.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you using that to, and I know Jackson and Calvin are still young, but are you trying to teach them that as well? You're going to be on TV?
Absolutely. Well, we don't necessarily say that you're going to be, you know, people are watching you on YouTube, but we always say that people are watching you.
Okay.
You know, whether that's at the store, the grocery store, at church, out and about. People are watching you, and people see what you're doing. So if you're leaving a good example, people are going to notice that wherever you are. And whether that, you know, depending on the situation, wherever you are, it can have a positive impact on people. Like, we see people all the time. We see kids all the time. Like, look at the way that kid is talking to their parents. Like, how awesome is that? They said please and thank you. That's a good example. Jackson, how wonderful is it that they're saying please and thank you to their parents? And just things like that. You know, we're always watching people. I don't know about you. I'm a people watcher. I like to watch people, what people do and say. And so I get that, and kids get that. Kids are just like big sponges. They see what's going around. They see what's going on. And then they adapt that, and they implement that in their life. So if we're doing those things, the kids are going to do those things too.
And that's something that obviously you can think about at home. If you have kids, people are watching them. People are seeing how they interact with other people in public. And so even if you don't have a YouTube channel, you still have the ability to affect 100%. Those around you.
Yeah, 100%. How am I doing? Am I doing okay?
You're doing great.
Okay.
Priyanka, one important lesson you've learned about being a dad, and tell us the story of how you learned it.
So there's a lesson that I've taken throughout my whole life. It's something that my dad taught me, because if you know anything about our YouTube channel or watch from the beginning, when I was like 12, 13 years old, I had a negative attitude about a lot of things. I was putting myself down, and my dad always taught me, like, attitude is everything. AIE is what he said, like the initials of that. And having a positive attitude is really, really important. And I always want to make sure that I try to have a positive attitude. And so my kids see that too. But not only that, this is going to sound kind of cheesy, but I think it's very important. From Hamilton, have you guys listened to Hamilton?
Uh-huh.
Like, your legacy are planting seeds in a garden that you'll never see. So the impact that you have on others is something that I take and I think about quite a bit, and I want to have that impact on others. So I want my kids to see me working with others, teaching others, being happy with others, and taking situations that aren't necessarily the best and making them into good situations, and taking good situations and making them great, and being there for other people. I think selflessness is so important, whether that's with your marriage, whether that's with your kids, your friends, your family. Those are like 4 different things, like wrapped up in one. But I think those are some of the most important things to me. But love is another thing. I think love is not as prevalent in the world today, and I think we all could love each other a little bit more.
I think that's really interesting. He just said several things that basically revolve around your ability to work and sacrifice for your family, which sounds harder than just kind of going with the flow and letting whatever happen. Would you say that you are happier because of you try and do those things, even though it's more
Absolutely,
work?
Yeah. The thing is, like, when I make other people happy, that brings me happiness. It brings me joy, and not just happiness, it brings me joy. When I can make my wife smile, I smile too. She's smiling right over there. So, and when I make my kids laugh, like, that makes me happy. And not only am I giving, I'm returning. So it's not just a one-way street there. It's a two-way street, and I think that's important. If you're just giving and giving and giving and giving, you're not getting anything in return. That's where it's a little different, you know. But the giving and the receiving is important.
Thank you. I really like that. That's something that I'm going to go home and think about some more on. You have 2 minutes to tell every dad in the world one thing, one message. What is it? What's most important to you?
Love your family. Love your spouse. Love your children. Little things in the moment might make a big deal, but in the long run, it's not that impactful. You know, have fun with your family. Play with your kids. You'll never regret saying, I spent too much time with my family. Every time that I've talked to someone about those things, they said, I wish I would have spent more time with my family. So.
That is excellent advice. If you recall, something that he said that goes along with what we heard in the Tim Schmoyer interview, which you would have seen last week, is each time he mentions his family and his kids, he talks about loving your wife as well. And that's something that they both said. If you want to be a really good dad, you have to actually start with the kid's mom. Yeah, you need to love her, and then you really have to love them. So, anything else you want to add?
No, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate the questions. It definitely makes me think, and I honestly could go on and on about these things. I'm probably forgetting a lot of things that I really want to say, because that always happens when you get interviewed. You're like, oh, I really want to say this and get this point across. I probably missed a lot of points that I wanted to make, but...
maybe you can do a return visit in the year from now on Dad Corner.
Yeah, we'll do episode 2 soon.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. There will be a card at the beginning of the video you've already seen, and I'll put one up there right now as well that links his channel, and then in the description down below, there will be a link to their channel. If you haven't watched them, I suggest you go watch them. He is one of my dad examples that I keep an eye on and try and learn from, and I've gotten so much from them. So I'm really grateful that you were here and let me interview you.
Thank you for having me. Welcome to our booth. You're welcome back anytime that they have this booth here.
Huge thanks to Ellie and Jared for that interview. You didn't see Ellie on the camera. She was standing right to the side, and she was also amazing the whole time. I'm really grateful to both of them, both for their kindness and for the interview. Funny story, I left the interview kind of just so inspired that when we got back home after several days, I had to take the audio and put it on my phone, and I listened to it like a podcast while I was cleaning the house. Don't laugh at me. So I personally got a lot from it, but I want to know what you thought about it. What did you get out of it, and what else would you add to the discussion? Let me know in the comments down below. For today's extras, the first thing that we want to share with you is the song that Jared referred to in that interview. It is from a hip-hop musical called Hamilton. I actually haven't seen the musical, I've just heard the music. The song he refers to is called The World Was Wide Enough. Link for that, it's down below. The second extra I've included down below is a link to one of my favorite recent Ellie and Jared videos. Jared won a world record. It's pretty funny, I'll let you go check that out. And then the last little bit of extra that I found is a recent video from the Dad Lab. It's just a fun ping pong experiment that you can either, I'm sure your kids would like to watch, or you can really simply replicate it. Thank you for watching today, guys. If you want to support this content, help us make more Dad Corners, then make sure to subscribe and share this video with any parent you think might enjoy it. Our next Dad Corner will come out next Tuesday at 3 o'clock, and in the meantime, feel free to check out the rest of the channel, watch our family vlog, check out the music. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday at 3.
If you liked it, subscribe. If you liked it, thumbs up. If you liked it, comment.